Spongebob Squarepants has been attempting to answer all of life's important questions since the late 1990s. The only response it's given thus far, though, is that it's SpongeBob who lives in a pineapple under the sea. However, it has provided viewers with hundreds of adventures shared by dozens of pals. But despite having been in the air for so long, certain characters have never been shown to be buddies. While the majority of the main and ancillary characters have interacted with each other, calling them all buddies would be an exaggeration. It's a shame though, because these interactions could have resulted in some very interesting storylines involving some unexpected partners. So let's take a look at the top 8 SpongeBob SquarePants friendships that we would like to see in the show. First up at number 8 is Karen and Mrs. Puff. Mrs. Puff must have done something truly heinous in a previous life to end up as SpongeBob's driving instructor. She's like Sisyphus from ancient Greece, forever pushing a rock up a hill in Hades. Mrs. Puff's rock is teaching SpongeBob how to drive, an impossible task that will only lead to suffering. Karen and Plankton are in a similar scenario. She ends up repeatedly assisting him in his attempts to defeat Mr. Krabs, knowing full well that he will fail every time. Mrs. Puff and Karen need to form a support group with each other. At number 7 is Squidward and Plankton. Plankton is the only person who despises the Krusty Krab more than Squidward. He spent years of his small, tiny life attempting to steal the Krabby Patty's secret formula, only to fail miserably. Squidward isn't a fan of the Krusty Krab, and he despises SpongeBob. It's a wonder he didn't get a permanent job at the Chum Bucket. There's never anyone around to annoy him while he's sleeping, and he could spend the entire day whining to Plankton. Number 6 is King Neptune and the Flying Dutchman. As strange as it may sound, Bikini Bottom does have a king who rules over it, and presumably the rest of the oceans. King Neptune is his name, and while he rarely turns up, when he does, it's a major event. However, there is also the Flying Dutchman, a terrible ghost who torments those same oceans. The Flying Dutchman and King Neptune do have a lot in common, and would definitely have some fun adventures together. At number 5 is Mrs. Puff and Plankton. Keeping in mind that Mrs. Puff and Karen would be intriguing friends, she would most likely be excellent friends with Plankton as well. While he despises Mr. Krabs the most, he also despises SpongeBob. Mrs. Puff, Karen, and Plankton could easily organize their own team to take down the Krusty Krab. If nothing else, Karen and Plankton might be able to assist Mrs. Puff in figuring out how to finally teach SpongeBob how to drive. At number 4 is Eugene Krabs and Larry the Lobster. Given that Bikini Bottom is a seaside community, it's strange that there aren't more frequent crustacean characters. Larry the Lobster and Mr. Krabs are the only ones who appear on a regular basis. Larry and Eugene don't have anything in common in reality. Larry is a fitness fanatic and Mr. Krab just sells fast food. Furthermore, one is a lobster and the other is a crab. But still, in a town full of fish, they could certainly use each other's help from time to time. Number 3 is Patrick Star and Pearl Krabs. Mr. Krabs being Pearl's father is one of the series' most perplexing elements. It's not that Mr. Krabs couldn't be her father, rather, the series just hasn't explored as deeply into the situation as they could have. Surprisingly, she and Patrick would get along pretty well. Pearl requires someone in her life to whom she can confide, and Patrick is a very good listener, but he won't recall anything that she says. Furthermore, further scenes demonstrating their affection to SpongeBob and dancing would eternally cement their friendship. At number 2 is Sandy Cheeks and Squidward. Squidward is by far the grumpiest of the series' characters. He's irritable, egotistical, and he's always tripping over his own ego. To be honest, he needs someone to help bring him back down to earth. Sandy may be just that person. Squidward and Sandy are both extremely brilliant, but they use their intelligence in very different ways. Sandy would be a very positive influence on Squidward, possibly making him even more likable. And finally, at number 1 is Spongebob Squarepants and Plankton. On a few times, the series has skirted around this kind of bond. However, it's generally Plankton who is unwilling to fully commit to it. He usually uses SpongeBob to get closer to the Krabby Patty secret formula, but his attempts usually still fail. Despite this, SpongeBob is eager to give Plankton another chance and find the good in him. Plankton would have a much happier existence if he just followed SpongeBob's lead. So there you have it, folks. Did you like today's video? Let us know down in the comments below if there's a pairing in SpongeBob you would like to see become friends. With this though, we're going to wrap up the video, so if you enjoyed it, please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more incredible videos like this one. We hope to meet you guys again in the next video, but until then, I'll catch you later.